Alright guys, it is Kieran from RedDevilWeekly to give my brief pre-match thoughts ahead of Wednesday night's game against Chelsea. Gonna be an interesting one, and we'll not only just be talking about the game, but also some of the reports that have been coming out as I'm recording this on a Tuesday evening. The reports have been coming out today, and probably the reports that will follow in days to come, because with these sort of stories, it tends to be a snowball effect that comes into force. So we'll see what happens in the coming days, but we're talking about some of the stuff that has come up, and we'll be talking about Chelsea and their season so far as well. Before we get into it, please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Really enjoy interacting with you guys down there, and also you guys know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoy the content and you're new to this channel. But we're going to talk briefly about Chelsea, who come into this game off the back of a 3-2 win against Brighton, a home win where they had to hold on with 10 men for half the game. Conor Gallagher got a second yellow card in the game, meaning he's suspended for this one. And yeah, listen, it's an interesting one from my point of view. When I looked at Chelsea, 10th in the league at the moment, not had a great season. They're 5 points behind us, which will tell you what sort of season they're having. But if you look at their team, they have got talent. Cole Palmer, who's come in fairly recently, I think he's been a very, very good player for them, especially in that City game. He scored a real crucial penalty at the end there, but I think in general he's added a bit to their team. Obviously a lot of injuries for Chelsea as well, so that's something you have to cut them slack with. I mean, every team's had injuries, but Chelsea had a really long injury list, I seem to remember, at the start of the season, and I think slowly they're kind of starting to come back, but they still haven't really been able to gel. Whilst, as I said, they have picked up some points against, top six or big six sides this season, because I don't think we can call ourselves a top six side, really. Big six sides. I still think they're definitely there to be got at. They've had a lot of disappointing results in between the good ones. One that sticks out in my mind was a 2-0 home defeat to Brentford, which really didn't do them any favours, and put a lot of pressure on Pochettino. Now, Pochettino obviously has come in the summer and hasn't really hit the ground running, I think it's fair to say, and I think a lot of Chelsea fans would say it's fairly underwhelming. But one thing with Pochettino is that we can cut him some slack in that he hasn't really had his full strength side available to him at all, really. So that's one thing that I think Chelsea fans are thinking about, and really are looking at kind of backing him for the long haul. Maybe you're wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. Sorry, in the comments. But obviously they've got a couple of offensive weapons. Obviously Sterling, someone who is a bit Jekyll and Hyde, but can come good, especially in these big games. I mentioned Cole Palmer as well. Nicholas Jackson had his day in the sun against Spurs, and since then hasn't done a huge amount, but again is someone who seemingly has a bit of a flavour for the big occasion, and that's something which we don't like to see. Enzo Fernandez, of course, scoring 2 goals on Sunday as well, getting a goal and a goal from a penalty in that game. So he'll have a lot of confidence, and without going up against our midfield, he should have a fairly easy day considering how open we've been. So yeah, Chelsea have got a lot of talent on the pitch. Mudryk, I think, really encapsulates Chelsea as a team, which is, a lot of promise, a lot of ability, but just doesn't seem to be clicking. And, we've seen Mudryk, what he did for Shakhtar Donetsk before he came to Chelsea, what he's done for Ukraine in spells. He's a dangerous player, and he's someone who could cause us problems at Old Trafford, but I still think that it hasn't really clicked for him at the moment. And whilst it looks like he's got ability and potential, we haven't seen it so far. So maybe we'll see it in the next few weeks, and potentially in the new year. Who knows? But enough about Chelsea. We'll talk about Manchester United and the rumours that have been coming out today, because I don't know what's going on anymore. It feels like the same cycle is repeating itself. We're on to kind of the last bit of the play, last bit of the performance, which is, the rumours come out that the players don't respect the manager, they don't respect his teachings, they don't respect his tactics. This usually is when, everything's kind of wrapping up and the curtain call is being readied. And Erik ten Hag, he's under a lot of pressure, and these next 4 games are going to be crucial for him. Really, I think that Liverpool game is looking like a potential death knell. On the 16th, 17th of December, we've got Bayern before then. We've always got Chelsea, and we play Bournemouth, who actually so far this season have done pretty well. So no easy game in the next 4. If we start off with a bad result against Chelsea, then it really isn't looking good. It really isn't. But the rumours that are coming out, if you haven't seen, 50%, according to Sky sources, Carve Solocol, around 50% of the players in Ten Hag's dressing room are disillusioned with him. They basically don't. They don't really back him. They're kind of not really behind him, and that is something that does worry me. It frustrates me as well, because in the end of the day, like, we've been through this with Mourinho, we've been through this with Oli, probably Rangnick as well. A common pattern is developing here. In the end of the day, after so many managers, I feel like you've got to look at the players and go, well, why are you continuing to throw your toys out of the pram? Like, there's good quality players in there. We saw what Rashford could do last season. He's a top quality player. Bruno Fernandes, he's the captain. I'm not sure if he's one of the players. But we've got some top quality in that squad. There's no doubt about it. But, like, it's getting to the point where it almost just feels like we're in prima donna territory with these players. I mean, you can't just keep falling out with the managers and keep kind of saying they don't know what they're talking about and you don't agree with their tactics. Like, at some point, the buck has got to stop with the players that take the field. But it's the same cycle repeating itself. It seems like we're going to continue around this merry-go-round for a long time. We'll probably sack Ten Hag in 4 games after an embarrassing loss to Liverpool. We'll bring in an interim to the end of the year. Then we'll bring in a kind of potential big-name manager. He'll get the job. He'll have a alright season, first season, second season, or third season. It'll just all fall apart. And we'll be back here in 18 months' time. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, those are the kind of rumours and things circulating. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more in the coming days, weeks, and months. But let's talk a bit about my predictions and how I think we'll line up for this game. I don't think there'll be many changes. I really don't. I feel like with the injuries we've got and with Ten Hag's stubbornness to change things, I don't think we'll see much change from the team that we saw against Newcastle. There is a potential for Rashford to be dropped. His performance obviously was the kind of performance other than Martial's that everyone seems to be focusing on. So those 2 players are really in the limelight. But I'm looking at the injuries and looking at the players we've got available. And, I mean, who are you playing instead of Rashford? Pellistri? I mean, Pellistri, when he came on against Galatasaray, I didn't think pulled up many trees. He missed quite a few big chances. So is he the guy you go to? I'm not sure. So I don't think we have much to turn to in terms of what we've got on the bench. So I think he's going to go with a very similar team. I'm going to go Onana in goal. I want him to play Luke Shaw at left back where he actually knows how to play. I know he's played well at left centre back before, but I feel like he's much better on that left hand side. I would play Varane and Maguire. Erik ten Hag, I think, has fallen out of Varane. I feel like that's pretty clear. And if he has done, then we'll see Maguire and Lindelof next to each other with Dalot at right back. Wan-Bissaka, he's been up and down since he's come back, really. Some decent performances, some kind of fairly average performances. So, again, it's a toss-up between him and Dalot at the moment. I think Wan-Bissaka is a better defender than Dalot. So, yeah, I'm going to change it to Wan-Bissaka. McTominay and Mainu. Mainu's probably the one shining light in this team at the moment. Then I'm going to go with Garnacho on the left, Bruno in the middle, Rashford on the right, and Rasmus Højlund up front. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. And I'm going to get into my score prediction. This feels like the most nailed-on 1-1 draw I've ever seen in my life. 2 teams that are low on confidence. Yes, Chelsea beat Brighton on the weekend and they might have a little bit of momentum, but ultimately 2 teams that are struggling this season, and we played out so many draws against Chelsea in the past. I think this could be another one, so I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Can it get any worse than what we saw against Newcastle? I think it can, but I certainly hope not. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comment section down below. And yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like it, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.